The moon was rising in the sky, casting long shadows over the forest. A thick mist was settling in, softening the sharp edges of the tall trees that surrounded the clearing. It was a night of stillness, the kind of quiet that makes the world feel suspended in time. The air was cool, but the pulse of the forest was steady, undisturbed by the usual sounds of life. But tonight was different. The world was holding its breath, waiting. Deep in the woods, near an ancient oak, a mother wolf lay, her fur matted with the remnants of the recent struggle. Her breathing was labored, each inhale weaker than the last. Her name was Kira, a fierce protector and an elegant hunter. For years, she had been the heart of her pack, leading them through the seasons and dangers of the wilderness. But tonight, she was alone. Beside her, a tiny wolf pup lay, shivering in the damp earth. His fur was still too soft, too new for the harsh world he was born into. His eyes, though open, seemed confused, unsure of what had just happened to the world around him. Kira's body trembled as she reached out to nuzzle him, her movements slow and heavy. The pup whined softly, his tiny voice breaking the silence. She struggled to lift her head, looking up at the towering oak tree beside her. In a final, desperate attempt, she reached out with the last of her strength and managed to wrap her paw around a branch of the tree. Her claws scraped against the bark, leaving deep marks. It was as though she was binding herself to the earth, begging for the strength to survive long enough to protect her child. The forest around her seemed to understand, the wind pausing, the trees standing still. The sounds of life disappeared, as if the world was holding its breath, watching this final moment. Kira had always been strong. She had run through the forest with her pack, leading them to safety, hunting for food, and protecting her family. But the battle with the humans had changed everything. The traps, the guns, the hunters that now roamed the land, they had taken everything from her. Her mate was gone, taken in a cruel trap. And now, she too was near the end. But she would not let her son suffer alone. She had watched him grow from the moment he was born, his tiny paws struggling to keep up with her, his eyes filled with curiosity. She remembered the first time he had looked up at her, his eyes wide with wonder, and the joy in her heart. She had promised him that she would protect him, no matter the cost. And now, with the shadows closing in, that promise would be tested. Kira's eyes flickered toward her pup. He was struggling to rise, his tiny legs trembling, trying to move toward her, to find comfort in her warmth. But Kira's strength was fading. She could feel the life slipping away from her, her body growing cold. Yet, she clung to the tree, her loss. Last act of defiance against the inevitable. With a final surge of energy, she called out softly to the pup. Her voice was barely a whisper, but it was filled with love and sorrow. Stay close. You are strong, you will survive. Her words were broken, each one a plea, a wish for him to carry on, for him to live in a world where he could be free. The pup whimpered, his little tail flicking with confusion. He didn't understand the gravity of what was happening, but he knew that his mother was no longer the powerful force she had once been. He nuzzled her side, licking her face in an attempt to comfort her, though he was too small to understand the deepness of the loss. Kira closed her eyes, a single tear slipping from the corner of her eye. Her breath faltered, then stopped. The forest seemed to exhale with her, the stillness growing heavier. The wind, which had been quiet for so long, began to stir the leaves above, whispering like a soft lullaby. And then, there was nothing but silence. As the first rays of dawn broke through the trees, the pup stood alone by his mother's side. His eyes, now filled with a deep understanding, looked at her still form. The pain of her loss was overwhelming, a void that seemed to swallow him whole. He nudged her gently, trying to wake her, but she did not stir. The forest was still. The small wolf pup, with no one left to guide him, looked toward the horizon. He could smell the scent of other wolves, distant but present. But he could not leave her. His instincts fought with his heart. His body yearned to run, to find food, to survive. But the bond between mother and child was not so easily broken. He sat there for hours, his heart heavy with grief, the weight of his mother's sacrifice pressing down on him. The world around him moved, life continued, but for him, it had stopped. He was too young to understand all that had happened, but he understood the loss. He knew, deep within his soul, that he had been given the gift of life, but it had come at a great cost. The sound of other wolves reached his ears, distant calls, perhaps the remnants of Kira's pack, who had once been part of her family. But the pup did not respond. Instead, he stayed, his eyes fixed on the tree where his mother had made her last stand. He didn't know what would come next, but he knew this: his mother had loved him, and now he had to carry her spirit within him. Conclusion. As the sun rose higher, the little wolf pup slowly made his way toward the edge of the clearing. He paused one last time, looking back at the tree where his mother had died. The bond between them would never be broken, no matter how far he ran or how much time passed. With each step he took into the unknown, Kira's memory would be with him, a quiet whisper in his heart, urging him to live, to survive, to honor the love she had given him. But for now, the forest was still. And the world continued, indifferent to the heartbreak.